Hello gamers and thank you for watching. So as you know, we have underway now the Sigrblot festival till the 19th of August. And there are a lot of references to what will follow in Valhalla story-wise. Here in the settlement we find during a quest 3 were letters. The first one says, Emperor Charles, third of the name and dignity, to his people will bring nothing but shame, a ruler who would rather bite the enemy. Kingdom inherited and unearned, the fat will be trimmed. Also known as Charles the Fat, he was the emperor of the Carolingian Empire from 1881 to 1888. During his rule, he twice purchased peace with the Vikings, including during the siege of Paris. The words above, Emperor Charles, third of the name and dignity, it's actually taken from Regino of Prun, a Benedict monk and a contemporary of Charles. In a second letter that we have to find during the festival, we see the Frankish army is stretched too thin. They can't cover the northern coast. Strike now before they organize and set sights across the water. Here we clearly understand that the Vikings plan to attack Paris, and during the festival most of the things we do refer to raiding and preparing for war. There is another third letter which is interesting. This one says, Raiding season is truly upon us, I've heard tell of new rivers in lands to the west and to the south. Take what's earned and I'll see you in the mid-hole, friend. From this we clearly understand that there will be new raids events soon. They will take place in Ireland, probably on the west part of the island, and other raids to the south could refer to France. We know that the Vikings entered the Seine river and proceeded up the river till Paris. After they occupied the city, they departed with 7,000 pounds of silver and gold. Historically, big raids took place in Antwerp, which is close to the sea, Rouen on the river Seine, Nantes, which is on the Loire river, and Quentovic, which is right near the shore. My bet is most of this will be raidable locations, either in the Siege of Paris or in the River Raids mode pack that will come this summer, probably late August. Another interesting thing during the Sigrblot festival is what we hear from a Norse warrior. He says, I raided with Siegfried, the most feared Viking in all of Francia.
I raided with Siegfried, the most feared Viking in all of Thyra.
We know that he took part in the Siege of Paris and we can expect to see him in the game as well. In the next DLC, Siege of Paris, we will see a Paris which is surrounded by the river. At that time it was built on an island in the middle of the Seine river and surrounded by walls. We know that there were first small raids on the river Seine and only after those the Vikings started to attack Paris. So we could have a surprise and get a river raid prior to the 12th of August, that's not out of the question. We know that Rollo took part in the Siege of Paris and that later he will be granted Normandy in order for the Franks to have protection from future attacks by the Vikings. The Siege of Paris is designed for players in the late stages of Eivor's adventure. Ubisoft has in fact revealed that the minimum level to deal with this DLC is 200, and of course this is a suggested level, not a mandatory one. To access the Paris expansion, it will be necessary to complete at least one of the first 2 narrative arcs in England, exactly as in the case of the Wrath of the Druids, which had a recommended level of 55, so it was way accessible.
From Francia, the most plunder there is of such finery that Norse have ravaged the land up to the very gates of Paris.
I have heard of the city. I should like to see it someday.
Hope this video worked well for you. Thank you very much for watching the entire video. Don't hesitate to like the video and subscribe, and I wish you all the best. Goodbye.